Are you a new Google Calendar user, or do you want to use it to its full capacity? If that's the case, then keep watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sophia. I am a business manager, I'm a working mother, and in this channel, I am sharing the tips and tricks that help me be productive and more mindful with my time. So if you're interested in this topic, I suggest you click on the subscribe and the notification button so you can be informed of the next videos. Before I continue with this video, I have divided this video into different chapters. So in case you are interested to learn something specific on how to use your Google Calendar, I suggest you look at the notes below and click on the chapter that you're interested in. One of the first things you should do when you have a new Google Calendar is to set up the different calendars under Google that will divide your time into different categories, and also the calendars that will help you be informed, like calendars that are showing holidays in your region, or calendars that you can subscribe to, like the calendars of your colleagues, or shared calendars that will help you see events that are happening within a certain program or projects, etc. So let's go quickly to the screen and see how this looks like. This is my calendar. These are different calendars that I set up for myself, and you can select the names of these calendars. For example, this has my name. I want to change it, and instead of my name, I want it to show work, because anyway, this is my calendar. I clicked on settings and I named this calendar to work. And here I can change the time zone that I'm working on. I can also adjust the sharing permissions. I can make this available to public. If I want to do that, I'm not going to do that. But this is for calendars that you want to share with the world. I can also make this calendar available in my organization, and I can select here if I want people to see the event details or if I want people to only see when I'm free or busy. And then I can get a link that I can share this calendar with my colleagues. The other thing I can do, if you have someone managing your calendar or helping you manage your calendar, you can also add people here. And then the next part is manage the notifications. I'm not going to go into that because it's pretty straightforward, but you can go through and check what kind of notifications you want to receive from this calendar. So let's go back. I have here, as I said, my work calendar, my kids and family calendar, different reminders, etc. And if I click on these three dots here, I can also change the colors of each calendar. The other thing I can do is I can uncheck different calendars, and this way I can have a different view of my calendar depending on what I want to watch. The other thing that Google is allowing us is to be able to add different holidays in our calendar. And we can do that by clicking on this plus button next to other calendars, and we can select browse calendars of interest. And then we can look at, for example, the birthdays of my contacts. We can also, here in the regional holidays, we can browse the holidays in different countries, and we can find our countries and select the holidays. For example, for me, I live in Switzerland, but I also follow the Cyprus calendar because of my friends and family. So I want both holidays to be shown on my calendar. I can also select different religious holidays. They have, different sports, phases of the moon. If that's useful to you, you can select it and you will be able to see it in your calendar. And as you can see here, they have different colors, and you can check and uncheck them depending on whether you want to see them on a specific moment or not. Finally, the other cool thing I wanted to show you is that you can subscribe to different calendars. You can, for example, have a common calendar with your team that you want to be aware of. You could also subscribe to your colleagues' calendars. You can do that by clicking on the subscribe to calendar. And then if you click here in the add calendar, you can scroll through your contacts and you can add the calendars of your colleagues. The next part is useful if you're working with people in different time zones, or if you're a person who is traveling yourself. You will want to be able to see different times on your calendar, and maybe you will want to see the world clock that tells you what time it is right now in different countries. So let's go and see what it looks like. If you can see here on the left of my screen, I have the different times right now in Switzerland, in Nicosia, in the United Kingdom. These are the places where my friends, family, and co-workers are located. I have two different columns that show the time on a specific location. So for example, if I want to add an appointment here, I can quickly see that it is at 12 o'clock Switzerland time and 1 o'clock Cyprus time. The way I do that is that I go to the settings menu, and in the time zone, I can do two things. One, in the time zone, I select display secondary time zone, and here I selected my primary time zone and my secondary, and I put two labels so I can quickly identify. And secondly, for the world clock, the one that shows you the time right now, I can add as many time zones as I want, and it will show under my month view. What I don't like about the time zone settings is that I can only add 2 time zones, but it's fine, it's still helpful. The other thing that most people don't know about Google Calendar is that you can add different types of events in your calendar. It's not only for appointments, it's not only for arranging calls, but you can use it for different things. So let's go ahead and look at that. If I go to my calendar and I click on this create button here, you can see that I have different categories of things I can add to my calendar. The first is event. Event is used to make appointments with other people, for calls, for meetings, etc., or to block time for ourselves to do certain things. The out of office event, we can use it to block the time for holidays. And the cool thing about this is that we can automatically decline meetings within this time period. So if someone doesn't know that we are out of office and they want to have a meeting with us, we can have Google automatically decline this. And as you can see here, we can also add a message for everyone to see. So it's pretty easy. We can select the dates. Let's actually make it real. I will be out of office from Christmas until the 7th, and I will show you how it looks like. The other thing is I can make this public or private. This is if you don't want your out of office availability to be shown in other apps. So let's save it. So what happened was that Google went ahead and found all the meetings and all the tasks I had planned for this period, and it went ahead and canceled them. So you can see here I have this content planning meeting on the Thursday the 30th. So it went ahead and canceled it. Let's go back to the create button. The other types of events you can add here are tasks, and I will talk about tasks later. But basically what you can do is really add a task to be done on a certain day, and you will be able to see it on your calendar. You can also add a reminder. A reminder is not blocking your calendar, but it's really giving you a notification of a certain task. And finally, this is really cool and most people don't know about this. You can also define appointment slots. So for example, if you have a time that you set in the calendar for talking to friends or talking to colleagues, office hours, and you want people to be able to go ahead and book slots in that calendar, you can define it here. So all you need to do is select the date, select the duration, and then tell Google Calendar how many slots they should divide this time period into. So for example, if I want to be available for a 1 hour slot on Thursdays, I can tell Google Calendar to divide this time into, 20-minute or 30-minute slots, so people can book those slots to talk to me. If you have already done the 3 things I talked about, you are on the road to making the best use of your Google Calendar. I have 2 more tips for you. But the other thing you need to know about Google Calendar is that there are many apps in the market that are either free or paid that help you bring your Google Calendar to the next level. I'm not going to talk about them, but if you're interested to learn more, please let me know in the comments. And also, please let me know in the comments if there is anything you wish you could do with your Google Calendar, and maybe I will show you how to do it in the next video. The next thing you can do with your Google Calendar is manage tasks. I briefly showed you before that you can actually create an event that is not an appointment but is a task on your calendar. Now, Google Calendar is not a task management system or a project management system, but in actual fact, if you want to have something simple that can help you keep track of the things you need to do, then Google Calendar is really useful for that matter. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you look at the right hand side of your calendar, you will see these 3 icons. The first one is called Keep. This is Google's notepad. Basically, you can use it to keep notes. And then the next icon is this tick mark here, this blue tick mark. And this is where you can store tasks. And I'm going to show you how it looks like. You can have here different lists. For example, I want to create a list for family. So all I need to do is select the list and then add the tasks. Maybe decorate Christmas tree. This is something I need to do this week. And I want to select the time that I have to do that. And actually, I want to do that between now and Friday. So let's select Friday. I want to put a deadline that I finish it by 8:30 in the evening. Now you can see here, you can also have tasks that you repeat. I'm not going to be decorating the Christmas tree many times. So I am adding this task to this calendar. And what happens is that, let me show you, let me uncheck all these calendars. And what happens is that if I go to the time that I set the task for, I can see that task reserved for that time. This is my deadline. Personally, I don't find it very useful that I book a specific time for the task because my calendar can shift around, and I prefer to have a deadline and be able to finish a task within that deadline. So I'm using Reclaim. This is a tool that is looking around my Google Calendar, and what it does is that it's finding time where I'm free and it's booking that time to do the specific task. So I managed to do all my tasks before the assigned deadline. I will link that video above and you can watch it and you can see how it works. But otherwise, even if you don't have Reclaim, I really like the fact that I can have the list of my tasks here and I can actually change between the different lists. And I find this useful, especially when it comes to family tasks or personal tasks, like I have to book this appointment to the doctor, I have to do this and that. I find it really useful to have them here because I don't want to be using my work project management tool for recording tasks I need to do for my family. The final feature that I find really useful in Google Calendar is that you can set goals. This is currently in December 2021. This is currently available only on mobile. I find it really useful as it helps you to track your habits and your goals. I am going to try and put a video here on how it works, but basically what you do is go to your calendar on your phone, but when you click on the plus button on your phone, you can see a little flag that says goals, and then you can choose a goal. Google Calendar is giving you some options like exercise, build a skill, meditate, whatever, chill time, organize my life. You can actually decide how many times a week you want to do this task, and Google Calendar is finding time in your calendar to do this, and it's sending you a reminder and it's telling you, you know what, it's time to do some exercise. And you can either defer this or you can do it right away and feel happy with it. These were the 5 ways in which you can use your Google Calendar on its own, without extra tools, without add-ons, without paying subscriptions, but just using your Google Calendar to make sure that you manage your time well, you communicate with your colleagues well, and also you make sure you don't miss out on important tasks and goals. I hope you found this video useful. This was a really beginner video for people who have not utilized yet their Google Calendar to its full capacity, but I have more tricks and tips up my sleeve for managing your calendar and your time. So please let me know in the comments if there are any other things you want to achieve with your Google Calendar, and I will make sure I will do a video to explain. And if you like this video, I would urge you to click like and subscribe. It helps more people to find my videos, and it encourages me to continue.